Hi guys, welcome back to Theory Lab, and in this section we're talking all about 7th chords. So everything we've talked about up to now in terms of chord construction has been triads, so 3-note chords. Now 7th chords is your first step into bigger chords, so 4-note chords, and then eventually 5 and maybe 6, and we'll see how we get on from there. But essentially the 7th chord is your first step into creating 3 main types of chord: major 7, minor 7 and dominant 7. So this introduction of another note, so a 7th, brings in a whole new style of chord which we just didn't have access to before, called dominant chords. So we're going to be going through each one in detail and explaining kind of what they sound like, where they're used, and hopefully you can start playing them on the guitar as well if you can't already. So the first thing we're going to be doing is setting ourselves up on the board, ready to look at each individual one. So as always, as we start now, I kind of want to just recap a few bits for you and just make sure you're on the same level here as my shaking pens. So let's go through this. So what we're going to be doing is, with each chord, we're just going to be relating it to the A major scale. Okay, so we're going to be doing an A major 7, an A minor 7 and an A dominant 7. Okay, so that means that on the board here it will be really useful, and certainly on your sheet of paper if you're kind of following along at home, to have an A major scale written out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build an A major scale. This is the basic stuff we covered in the essentials courses. We're just going to do it again just to be absolutely sure. So I'm going to build it upwards this time. Okay, so I'm going to remind myself that the major scale is essentially the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and then back to the root again. Okay, and I'm going to just put in A under the 1. Okay, so there's my A. Now here's what I need to remind myself, that there's a formula to create the major scale. So if you're ever coming across a scale that you don't 100% know, so you might not know all the sharps that are in A off the top of your head. So we use this formula to remember that. So we're just going to simply go up a tone from there, if you remember. Okay, and a tone from A is quite simply B. So that's 2 frets. Okay, then the second part of the formula is another tone. Okay, so we're going to go up a tone from B, which if you do it on the guitar is a C sharp. Okay. Then we're going to go up a semitone. Okay, so that's from C sharp up to D. Okay, now we're going to go up a tone from there. So this is the formula, remember? So 1 tone from there gives us E. So again, 2 frets up on the guitar. Then another tone. Okay, another tone up from E is F sharp. Okay, then we do another tone. So another tone up from F sharp is G sharp. Okay, and then we've got a final semitone which takes us back to A. Okay, so there we go. We kind of did it in a long way round, I guess. The shortest and easiest way round is just to know that the A major scale has 3 sharps, okay, and almost a kind of circle of fifths method, which is not something we're going to go into here, okay, but if you know it, that's one way of doing it. But this way guarantees you get it right, okay, as long as you always know the difference between the tone and the semitone. So we've set ourselves up, we've got our A major scale, okay, so I would highly recommend you kind of go through that process and put it down on paper, because from here we're going to be learning 3 formulas for a major 7th chord, a minor 7th chord and a dominant 7th chord, and of course we're going to be pulling numbers out of this scale. So get that ready and I'll see you next time where we'll tackle the major 7 chord.